Greetings, I'm Tim of Govberg, and welcome to the world of Grand Seiko. Today, I'll be your guide to the proper usage, care, and maintenance of your Grand Seiko SBGC015 Spring Drive Chronograph GMT Black Ceramic Limited Edition. It's important to note that this automatic winding watch can nevertheless be manually wound. By taking the crown and threading it in a counterclockwise direction until you can feel it distinctly pop out of its threaded sleeve. Now it's in the first position for winding. Begin turning the crown. Approximately 30 turns will be sufficient to start the watch, and then at that point the crown can be threaded in, and the natural course of kinetic energy on the wrist in conjunction with the case-back winding rotor will continue to top off the power reserve and keep the watch functioning. But should you desire to completely energize the approximately 72-hour power reserve of this spring drive caliber, simply continue turning the crown in a clockwise direction 45 to 60 turns. You'll note when the reserve marche indicator is maxed out, the watch is full, but also note you cannot accidentally overwind the watch, as mechanical precautions have been taken against this accidental damage. Now, it's also important to note that once the watch is operating, there are other crown positions. The first position out from winding, second position overall, moves the local hour hand, and you'll note that the local hour hand is the time where you are, thus it is keyed to the date window. Now, as you jump forward or backwards with the local hour hand, think of it as a time zone feature for travelers. It does not stop the advance of the watch. The seconds continue to tick, and the reference time zone with its red tip and the minute hand continue to advance, so precision and isochronism are not affected. However, when you pull the crown out to extremity, its outermost position, now we are 3 clicks out from screwed in, you can advance all of the indications of the dial in sync, and you will note the stop seconds function present because the constant seconds dial has halted. Now you can precisely synchronize to a known accurate reference time, such as an atomic clock. Once the watch has been set and wound, be sure to thread the crown back in to ensure physical security and water resistance. Now, the watch is also a chronograph, so it's important to note when you press the start pusher at 2 o'clock, you must press it again to stop, and then reset with the pusher at 4 o'clock. It's critical to always operate a chronograph in this sequence, as attempting to reset while the chronograph is operating can severely damage the movement. Now, it's important to mention water resistance is the single greatest factor in maintaining the physical integrity of your watch, both cosmetically and mechanically. Now, this watch is rated to 10 bar or 100 meters, which Grand Seiko rates as sufficient for all water activities except professional diving. Now, it's important to note first and foremost that leather is a porous natural material, so a leather strap is never water resistant. Always swap the watch to a textile or bracelet before taking it into aquatic activity, as again, leather will rapidly degrade in the presence of moisture regardless of the water resistance of the timepiece itself. Now, it's also important to note with respect to water resistance that you can help avoid accidental drowning. When the watch is submerged or there's water on the case, forego use of any of the pushers or crown functions, as these can lead to bypassing of the seals and introduction of water into the interior of the watch. This is catastrophic both cosmetically and mechanically, so keep the crown screwed down and the pushers disused when the watch is wet. Now, with respect to water resistance, it simply isn't a static feature of the timepiece, as over time, seals will age, lubricants will dry, and water resistance, as rated by the factory, will ebb. In order to ensure that factory-rated hermeticity is maintained, take the watch to a Grand Seiko authorized service center minimally every 24 months to have a water test performed quickly and easily. Now, with respect to subsidiary hazard, there are 2 primary ones. First, magnetism. Magnets are ubiquitous in daily life on the closures of purses and wallets, refrigerator doors, of course MRI equipment, speakers, subwoofers, and high-powered wiring looms. Keep your watch remote from these to ensure its precision. Now, with respect to shock, ensure the watch is not used during activities such as mountain biking, dirt biking, firearms marksmanship, baseball, tennis, and golf, as these severe shocks can damage a fine automatic spring drive caliber. It's important to note that while the caliber itself is quite rugged, these extreme sports can generate momentary G-shocks between 2,000 and 5,000 that are beyond the realm of any shock protection, so don't wear your watch during those activities. Finally, with respect to factory mechanical service, Grand Seiko recommends overhauling the movement every 3 years. Now, it's important that this be done exclusively with authorized service centers of Grand Seiko, as only these agencies have the trained personnel, specialized equipment, and original factory replacement parts to preserve the value of your watch both as an investment and as an instrument. Moreover, only these agencies are authorized to back all parts and work invested with a Grand Seiko factory service warranty. Finally, visit our website, govbergwatches.com, and call, text, or email our experts who will be happy to walk you through every phase of the ownership and usage of this or any Grand Seiko model.